Hi, I'm Matthew. Let's talk about buckles. This is the buckle which I have patented. The white portion is the shoulder strap, and you can see that it rotates continuously. When you push in the center, the two halves can separate. When the two halves are clicked together, they are securely attached in any orientation. So, let's put that buckle into context by comparing it to buckles which are already on the market. This is the classic pinch release buckle. Everybody knows this buckle. Biggest problem with this buckle is that the tips are pretty easily broken. Everyone's seen that. Everyone probably owns one of those that's broken. It still kind of functions, but it's not great. And this buckle's been unchanged since the 60s when it was patented. It's 55 years old. There's a lot of room for improvement, which brings us to the next buckle. You primarily see this one on diving harnesses. Reason being, it's got a large button in the middle. You can pretty quickly separate it with just a single finger, which is really great for diving, because if your diving harness gets caught, if you need to ditch your weight and get right to the surface of the water really quickly, you can easily, with just the press of a button, get out of your harness and go to the surface. This one also has some thin pieces that are easily broken, but it's an improvement on the other one, on the pinch lock, the pinch release buckle, this one. Something about this buckle is that it rotates, which is really cool, but pointless. The reason is, if it's rotated and you put a force through the strap, it pulls the buckle totally straight, right? You can't rotate it by pulling on the straps. You need to hold one side and then it will rotate. But there's no way to hold this. There's no way designed on it to be held like that. It's always on the straps. So the straps are always going to be the things that sort of pivot instead of the buckle itself. The fact that it rotates, totally irrelevant. This is a buckle made by Velcro. I don't know if you can read that. It's real small right there. Similar to the one we were just looking at, it's got this rotation here. But this is not a release button. You can't press that and get that apart. It just doesn't come apart. So that's why they've integrated this pinch release or the side release classic buckle right there. So it seems to pivot. But again, same deal. You have to hold one side in order to get it to pivot. It mounts in line on the strap, so it's always going to be pulled perfectly straight. Why does it pivot? There's no reason for that. This is your classic D-ring and J-hook assembly. Called a D-ring for obvious reasons in the shape of a D. But that arc to the D is there for a reason. It gives the ability for the J-hook to have this sort of rotating motion. The problem with this buckle, I mean, it's really old. It's like 200 years old. The problem with it is that it's just got all this other motion that you don't want. It's not constrained at all. They've incorporated swivels, and so you got the pivot and you got the swivel, but you don't need that. The strap is always flat relative to the bag. The reason they've incorporated that is the idea being when it gets all tangled up, you can pull it and it swivels itself back to straight. But anyone who's ever owned one of these knows that that works not very well. So great in theory, not good in practice. Going back to the buckle which I've patented, it solves all those problems. The one half here, the retainer half, this mounts directly to the bag with screws or with rivets. This is the hook half that has a slot for the shoulder strap to mount to, and then it clicks on. So this retainer portion, the table here would represent the actual bag. So when you have forces going through the strap, they actually cause the buckle to rotate, which is really nice. It makes it so that your strap doesn't do weird things like that. Or, you know, everyone's seen straps that are bunched up on one side of the buckle or the other. So it's a nice solution to problems which haven't been addressed for a long time.